Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of Life Downloaded. We've got a smashing episode for you today.
Episode 4, I can't believe we've made it that far.
We have.
But we have, and people are still listening.
Yeah,
Thanks
just
for
about.
That. Just about. So, if you can't hear them already, we've still got the really dodgy builders out, Zoe. So, you might hear them if I can't edit them. But also, it's A-level results day.
Hurrah!
So we're going to talk about that a little bit. On top of that, we've got a super secret ninja guest.
We have our first guest. I'm quite excited about this.
So we won't tell you too much about that because we don't want to spoil the surprise. But we're talking A-levels, we're talking education as a whole. We even had some jelly beans.
Yes, we did. And we're talking about my tooth. My wobbly broken tooth.
Wobbly broken tooth. Thankfully, she could still eat jelly beans.
I could, and talk for an hour.
So guys, that's Life Downloaded, episode 4. After this musical interlude. Well, hey everybody, here we are. It's episode 4, Sam.
Hurrah, we made it!
We made it. Like, every one of these feels like a bit of an achievement. But this one is extra special today.
Is it? Why is that, Dan?
Because we're not the only ones sat here, apart from Lola the cat, obviously, who's somewhere.
And the 50 builders that are making so much noise today. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, they're still here.
They're still here. And they're not naked.
No.
I kind of wish they were. Like,
really?
some of them are quite cute, yeah.
Looking at some of them out the window.
Yeah, I do. When I'm on my own.
But no, outside of Lola the cat and the builders, it's extra special because we have the lovely Daniel Parker. I'm calling him Daniel to avoid confusion.
I know, very confusing.
He's not getting full named because he's in trouble. It's just because I'm a Dan and he's a Dan. So for your listening pleasure, we're going to try and call him Daniel all the way through.
Or you could just call me Parker, because actually a lot of friends call me Parker, my surname. Yeah.
I like Parker.
Which is kind of like Thunderbirds, yes, my lady, that's what I should be.
Indeed.
Hello.
Do you drive a pink car?
Sadly not.
Oh.
No.
Can I be, what's her name? Is it Mrs. Money?
No, that's
Bond!
Lady Penelope.
Oh,
Lady Penelope.
Well, yeah, so I do have the flat cap, so I kind of do have a bit
you haven't brought it now, though.
Chauffeur attire.
So, backtrack a little bit. Who the heck are you, Parker?
So I met you, Sam, a few months back, didn't I, for the first time?
You did, look at you.
You're doing a podcast, and you kindly invited me on.
So you wanted to be on the podcast, and I thought, get you on the podcast. And what we're going to be looking at today is basically the A-level results that have come out. But before we go on to that, and I just thought that Parker, this is very confusing.
Just stick with it, honestly.
That obviously you're autistic,
yeah, Asperger's.
Yeah, and I just thought it'd be really interesting because obviously myself and Dan have got a physical, visible disability. So I thought it'd be great to have someone on who has an invisible disability, just because that is just new territory.
We just thought we'd mix it up a bit.
Yeah, let's mix it up a little bit. And I think also, people with invisible disabilities are the most kind of misunderstood, so to speak, because people don't really, you can't see your disability, people don't necessarily know how to interact. They can be a bit awkward around myself and Dan, but they normally just say like a wheelchair joke or go beep beep or go brum with a car sound. But I suppose with someone with autism, that's a whole different level of disability and awkwardness, I suppose. So that's why Parker is here, and also because he's a lovely guy.
Right.
Not just we're not just ticking boxes here, people. It's all like, let's get an autistic guy on. That'll do. That'll even out the odds. But before we get on to that, what have we been up to this week? So going over to my pod husband, Dan.
What have I been up to this week?
Yeah, out and out. as we say up north.
Out or now?
Out or now?
I've been doing little bits this week. I've been doing really boring stuff like my tax return.
Ooh, living on the edge.
Yeah, it was my lady's birthday yesterday though,
Nice.
so did a couple of bits for that.
What do you mean you have a wife at home? I thought I was your only wife.
Yeah, well, you're my pod wife, darling.
This is very upsetting.
She knows you exist, and you now know she exists.
There you go.
You know, it's all mutual and understood.
Good. Good.
But yeah, so been doing lots of little bits this week. Nothing crazy exciting.
It's nice to have them weeks where you literally do. I call them admin weeks. Where you've got like a list. I'm a list person. I write things in a little book, and I like to tick them off with different coloured pens. That's how I roll. But yeah, I like having them weeks because then little tasks start to pile up, and that can cause so much anxiety. So I actually really like devoting, even if it's not a week, just a couple of days, to doing all these like odds and sods.
You feel better after ticking one off.
Yeah, odds and sods. That's what we say again. Up north, being very northern today.
You are. I'm not gonna lie though. Like
What?
when it comes to paperwork and stuff like that, I am the ultimate procrastinator.
Oh, are you? Oh, see, give it to me.
You can't be doing too much paperwork.
How about you, Parker? Are you quite organised?
The trouble I've got is because I should say I also have dyspraxia as well.
Okay.
So my coordination and my handwriting isn't great. So I have this thing where I write lists and then I can't actually read them.
Be the back.
So,
Amazing.
Yeah. So I actually prefer laptops, computers, digital.
But I don't think you're alone there. I think, I used to be a school teacher and some of the kids' writing was just shocking. Shocking!
They say, don't they, if you've got bad handwriting, you're destined to be a doctor, apparently.
Yes!
But,
Yes.
Well, that didn't work out for me.
Not me, to be fair.
I can play one.
I know, that's
I can visit one.
That's
there you go.
weird territory. Weird territory. I just had like a kind of a sexual kind of, dominatrix, doctor nursing thing going on there.
I wasn't going there, Sam.
But I went there for you, Dan.
You did.
I went there for you.
I was sort of going, casualty hold me, give me a job. You just took it in a whole different
I just took it to a dungeon. I did. That's where I went with that. Anyway, I like to digress on this podcast.
Indeed, but what about your week, lovely pod wife?
I have had a very let's get stuff done, been to the optician, been to the dentist. I've actually broken one of my front teeth, which is not great. So for the listeners, I have osteogenesis imperfecta, so brittle bones. But some of us, lucky few, within the brittle bone community also have osteodentina genesis, which affects our teeth. So I don't have collagen in my teeth like I don't have in my bones, which basically means my teeth are kind of discoloured because the whiteness of your teeth, the enamel, is made up of the collagen, which I don't have. So my teeth have always been a sore subject for me, and obviously because my bones are brittle, I can't have implants put in. So in my 30s, I've now lost 2 of my teeth, which is a little bit worrying, but I've been speaking to a lot of people with the same condition and they all seem to be in the same boat. I think what's frustrating is me working in social, in the public eye, working in television. When you lose a front tooth, that's not an attractive look you really want to be going on television with, and because I can't have an implant because it might fracture my jaw, there's not many options. So that's kind of like really been getting me down quite a lot. Besides, the horrible toothache pain. I mean, I've had 200 broken bones in my life, and that I can kind of, cope with, but give me toothache, I literally want to kill people. Like, this is why I've not left the house that often. So yeah, so it's been a bit of a funny one for me, been feeling sorry for myself. Thankfully, I have got Lola now, little Lola, to keep me company. I was really high on medication the other day, and I was on the sofa, and she was just kind of biting me and nibbling me, and because I was so high on pain medication, didn't even feel it. I just noticed a lot of scratches all over me. So yeah, she's enjoyed the fact that I've been in my pajamas for most of the week. But anyway, I made it here. I'm here.
You made it to your own flat.
I'm not high. I'm high on life today.
High on life.
Love it.
Anyway, again, so I told you I can talk. Okay, talk for Britain.
It's one of the reasons you're doing a podcast.
Exactly.
But no, at the time of recording, guys, it is currently Thursday, the 15th of August, which for many people around the UK, including my niece and cousin, it's A-level results day. And now this is a big day for a lot of people, for those listening around the world, because we do have people listening around the world. I looked at the listening figures the other day. We've had a big following in Switzerland. I don't quite know what's going on in Switzerland.
Okay.
But we've
Hi.
we've had
With the Toblerone.
Hi there.
hi guys in Switzerland.
Love a Toblerone.
If you want to send us some free Toblerone, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Email us via the website
Exactly.
lifedownloaded.com.
I'll give you my address. That might be dangerous.
But no, it's A-level results day, so for a lot of 17, 18-year-olds, it's a big day, and like I remember my A-level results day, and you know when you watch it on the TV, you get the people going, if your A-level results don't go to plan, don't worry, don't panic. I was one of those people. My A-level results didn't go to plan, so I can definitely on A-level results day talk about that. Because my A-level results didn't go to plan, to the point that my teachers even went, "We don't understand your A-level results.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to send them off to be regraded?"
Remarked.
Yeah.
At which point I was like, "Oh no, I can't be bothered." But even after doing that, I still got to uni. I still did a degree, and I'm still in a career that I love doing. So if your results haven't gone the way you expected them to, I am an example that you can still do what you want to do. You just might have to do it a slightly different way.
No, I completely agree. How about you, Parker? I can't get used to calling you that. How about you? College, happy times, stressful times. For me, high school was very stressful. As soon as I went to college, I came into my own and I loved it, and I became quite confident and I had self-worth. Now, I know that's not the case for everybody. What was your college experience? Did you take A-levels or did you go down a different path?
I had a slightly different path. So at college, I actually did a BTEC. So I did BTEC first at film and television.
Yep.
Then a couple of years later, went to another college in London to do radio production BTEC as well.
Amazing.
So my intention was always to do A-levels. I wanted to go to the same college that a lot of my school friends were going to and do my A-levels, which was in media and film studies. And I was obsessed with the idea of working in film. That was my dream at school. I wanted to be the next Steven Spielberg. I wanted to be a director.
Don't we all?
Yeah, exactly.
I just want him to employ me. He can do the directing bit, he can just employ me.
I basically wanted to do these A-levels, had it all in my head, built up in my head I was going to do these when I left school. My GCSEs were very average, got C's in pretty much everything, but I wasn't strong enough to do my A-levels of choice. Okay. So my college of choice ended up sending me to another college to do this BTEC course. They said you should go for this instead. And the rest is history. I don't change the path at all, because I think things
happen for a reason.
Happen for a reason.
And it's funny that you say that, because I vividly from a young age knew that I had to go to college to get into university, because I knew, again, from a young age that I was quote-unquote different and my life would be harder and people would not expect things from me. So the only way I thought I could prove myself to society and, get someone to fall in love with me and get married was to be as normal. Again, I'm using, quote bracket, air quotes, sorry, was to get A-levels and then go to university. And that was an enormous pressure. And you said that, you had it in your head that you needed to get A-levels. Where did that come from? Would you say that was external influences? Was that parents? Was that teachers? Or was that just genuinely you because you wanted to do that for yourself?
For me, it was a mixture of two things. Firstly, that most people in my school, most of my friend groups were all going to university. That was their plan anyway. But also I had this assumption that to work in the kind of media industry, this big industry, creative industry, you have to go to university. This was this assumption I've always had. And I think many people still do, actually, which is a big shame. But that's why, really. I thought I've got to go to university and study film and media as high up as possible to give myself the best chance of breaking into the industry. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, look, I said that I really love college, and I think the main reason I love college was I had really good support. There was learning support there, but it was done in such a way that I wasn't put in a little room on my own. I remember that it was a campus, quite a big campus, my college, and I didn't need anyone for the first time to be sat in class with me, which in high school I had someone glued to me. Too. Yeah.
And I found it quite awkward, actually. Yeah. Because you're sitting there with
an adult
next to you, and kids are kind of looking like, why has Dan got a teaching assistant next to him? You know, and it's kind
of. You can't be naughty.
No, and I felt very exactly. No, I still was. I was still a bit of a class clown, but I felt very insecure about that.
Yeah.
And like similarly, when I went to college, my assistants became classroom based, so looking after a few different students with learning difficulties, not just myself. So it's got a bit more spread out.
Yeah, no, and I think that's great. It's just to give you a bit more independence,
exactly,
autonomy, and to prepare you actually for the real world. Because as we know, education is great, but it is a bubble. And I think when you do have a disability, as soon as you leave, like as soon as you're 18, I don't know if you found it as well, Dan. As soon as you're 18, it's like, it's a miracle. You're cured. You don't have a disability anymore. We're gonna take all the support away from you, and you're on your own in the big bad world. Did you find that, Dan?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of adult support compared to being a young person in education or a child in education, the support you get in terms of physio and physical stuff. If you've got a physical impairment, you'll have physios come into school. All that kind of thing, and then you fall off the edge of it's like you fall off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
Once you leave education, the system completely changes because you become an adult and you become responsible for yourself, but at the same time there's no transition of guess what, you're now responsible for yourself. There's no, so everything kind of falls off the planet. And if you've got a supportive family, that's great because they'll help you navigate. But if you haven't, then it becomes a real challenge.
Yeah, I was going to say the family thing actually. So I was lucky that my family have always been really encouraging and trying to really push me to be independent as I can be. And I don't think without that, throughout my school life, college life, up until this point, I would have found that independence that I did. So, I think a bit of tough love was needed for me in some ways throughout my life. So that really helps as well.
I mean, you've secured an amazing job. What you do, you're great. And so I think that goes to show that, if you are passionate about something, no matter what your, I hate to say it, what your obstacle, I hate even all these words, but whatever your situation is, you can achieve it. But there's a lot that goes into it. Like you said, family support, having the encouragement. So my father died when I was 10. My mum was not in a great place for many, many years, understandably. And my mum was never one of these pushy parents, but to an extent where even if I got like A star, she'd be like, oh, okay, great. I don't know if it's a German thing. Like, honestly.
She always expected more.
No, she just was kind of like, okay.
Chilled about it.
Chilled. And I was like, no, like, give me, like, I need praise.
Stickers. Yeah.
I need stickers. Yeah, I need a gold star. Like, give me something. And I sometimes wish that I had that kind of, like, push. So I had this kind of, like, very weird situation where a lot of people didn't expect me to do, and then I kept achieving more and more and more and more, but then back at home they were like, my mum maybe grounded me. Mum was like, oh, okay. It's a little bit like that now, like she doesn't even watch me on television anymore.
Yeah, neither does mine.
Like literally, she's like, oh well.
My mum will never watch anything. Like she's never listened to this podcast. She never will listen to this podcast.
I don't even think my mum knows I'm doing a podcast.
Well, there you go. Hi, Mum. Rank. Yeah, we've been talking about you for like 4 episodes.
I can literally, because I really want to do an autobiography, and obviously, like, there's a lot of family things that I want to put in there. And I'm panicking because I'm like, it's not really all about my story. Like, it could, it's like, do I divulge about my sister and my relatives that aren't exactly the nicest thing?
Your mum's right the opening.
Well, I don't know. Well, this is it. I'm just thinking she probably will never read it anyway. So as long as I give her like a nice big check at the end of it and go, this is your bit. This is your money.
Yeah.
Here you go. Just don't ever read the book.
Don't read it. But yeah, no, my mum will never like watch or listen to anything because she panics I'm going to say something wrong or do something wrong or she's going to cringe. And so she's fully supportive, but like she's never watched me wrestle. She's come to some shows. I often have the conversation because a lot of theatre can be creative and out there. And it's the conversation of, if I come and see this, am I going to get it?
Yeah.
And I literally have to go yes or no. If it's a no, she won't come and see it. So, yeah, like my family are fully supportive. I would not, fact, be able to do what I do without them. namely because, when I'm not working, I'm not getting paid, and money can be hit and miss as a performer. So without their support, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, and I say that publicly wherever I go. But, getting back to A-levels, it doesn't matter what your results are. They can help, don't get me wrong, but you can still achieve. You might just have to find a different route.
See, I mean, I know I always keep mentioning it, but I am very proud of my German heritage. In Germany, there's a very different kind of notion towards education, and they still have the tripartite system in the sense that they've got three different. So you've got a grammar school, kind of technical college, and then like a comprehensive, so to speak. We abolished that in the UK in like the 60s or 60s or 80s,
like that, yeah.
Anyway, so they've still got that system, and that really works for them in the sense that apprenticeships and doing things like you said, BTEC and MVQs, that is seen just as high within society as getting a degree, and it's respected. Whereas I think in the UK, unfortunately, when someone says, I've done, not done A-levels or I've not gone to university, we've got these preconceived like stereotypes of, they're just not, they're a bit thick, aren't they? Or they can't do, they're not academic enough. And it's seen as a negative, which is awful. These are not my views, by the way. But on the whole, I think that's
it's almost looked down on, isn't it?
It is looked down on, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's totally looked down on. And I do think it's a shame, because when I was a teacher, I worked with a lot of children with a variety of different educational needs. And some of them were just so creative. And I'm not creative. I failed GCSE maths. I just can't do maths.
I can't do maths.
You know what I mean? I'm just rubbish. But that's fine. Like what Dan said, I'm doing a job that I love, and I sustain myself, and I've got a pretty decent life, and that it was without things that I was strong in. But I think we need to nurture, and we need to encourage people who are more creative. I mean, look, you can't even get a plumber nowadays. Where are all the plumbers?
Well, this is the thing. Like, if my plumber's got a degree, all power to my plumber. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I want a plumber that knows how to plumb.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're not going to learn how to weld a U-bend, if they even weld U-bends. I don't know. I
don't even know. It sounds right.
But you know what I'm saying? That I want to know that they know how to physically put some pipes together to make my plumbing work. And you're not going to do that by writing a 7,000-word dissertation. So just because you've got a different set of skills doesn't make your achievements anything less. I'm still going to come to you as a plumber and go, make my plumbing work.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're all different kinds of learners as well.
Well, this is it.
Some people, the more academic, shall we say, like the theory kind of side of things. But these practical qualifications, like BTECs, where you can learn on the job, basically.
Kinesthetic learning.
Lessons at school like drama, music, dance. All right, I had to do dance at school, just going to admit that.
Oh,
I was
my
absolutely
goodness.
awful.
Why are you not on Strictly this year? I've seen them.
Oh, no. This is like dad dancing at weddings. That's me. Disco Dan, they should call me.
Disco Dan. That's better than Parker.
Disco
Dan.
Disco Dan.
But these lessons are so important because there are kids who just need to learn in a practical way. And it can really benefit them in their future career aspirations.
No, but it's true. Like we are losing our creativity because we've got this increased, screen time. So people are bored easier. Like I listened to this amazing podcast about people using too much technology, and when you're in a lift, normally before iPhones or whatever, you'd be just with your own thoughts in a lift. Yeah. And now people keep looking, and there was a study, don't know where it was, probably in America or something, where they had students, and they said, right, you have to sit here for 20 minutes, not long. No, not in a lift, in a classroom. You had to not allowed to interact with people, you had to be in your own thoughts. You can either be in your own thoughts for 20 minutes, or you could go and get an electric shock, right, over there in the corner. And most of them went and got an electric shock.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we are so... our attention span is so little now, but this is killing off creativity because we become creative when we are bored, when we're sat with our own thoughts, and I fear
spontaneous moments,
and I fear. I don't know how we've gotten to this from A-levels, but I do fear that if we're not nurturing kind of that creative side, we're going to have a really scary future.
Yeah.
Generation of people that aren't building, aren't thinking about new technology, or
Thing is, I think young people are creative. I think they're creative in different ways because technology is enabling them to be so. Because I mean, I watched a video on Facebook the other day, and it was just photography tricks using your phone, and I was like, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So they're being creative in different ways. I don't think creativity will ever be dead. But I have my concerns about the British educational system, in the fact that, you know, I am an actor by trade. I did drama at school. You did drama, music and dance. Parker, Disco Dan, whatever we're calling you.
It's all very confusing.
A man of many names.
You in the corner here. You boy.
You know, and Sam, I'm assuming you did some creative subjects on some level. You must have.
Well, I suppose languages.
Yeah.
Studied languages, and I did drama at high school.
Well,
yeah.
there you go. You see, you did. And I worry that, you know, our education system has become so focused on academia and passing exams that people are not gaining the skills to access their creativity in the same way.
No, exactly. I mean, we're focused on what you call the core subjects, so English, maths and science, which again are great. You know, it's great if you can read, and it's great if you can, you know, independently know your outgoings and be able to, you know what an APR is on a what's it called, a credit card. But again, I think where we fail as well is going back to, do you remember general studies? We had general studies. Am I really old? So general studies was basically one lesson that we had to do at A level, one lesson a week. Really silly. And I thought general studies meant learning things like, what does APR mean on a credit card? What is a mortgage? What is, you know, like life skills?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. It was quite sociology based, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
But I kind of kept coming away from that thinking, okay, so if you're not really academic, what would have been great was having subjects, life skills like that. Did you have, was it called life skills where you were at school? Or
No, it wasn't. But I had similar lessons. I can't remember what they were called, but I did have similar lessons. And I think, you know, it stems to what in high schools is known now, I believe, please somebody will correct me in the Twitterverse, I'm sure, as PHSE, or Personal Health and Social Education.
I thought they get rid of that now, don't they?
But the thing is, like, that's vitally important because that starts to shape you as a person, whatever your beliefs may be. And everybody knows how divided the UK is right now over certain subjects that I will not name on this podcast because I will go on a rant if I do. But yes, that one that you've tried to cough.
Yeah.
You know, we know how divided we are. And I think a lesson like PHSE is all the more important in the world of social media, if nothing else, to teach young people. And I think young people are switched on, you know, you've got to give them credit where credit is due, but I think it doesn't hurt to educate young people in going, look, everything you see on social media, if you want to find out more, do your own investigations, find reliable sources, because, you know, companies like the BBC, companies like ITV and all your news generating organisations will try and be as neutral as possible, and some of them won't try and be as neutral as possible. And you have to learn how to balance that. And I think that is rapidly becoming a life skill that young people need to learn. Look at me getting all deep and philosophical.
So there was recently like a camp for primary school kids, and it was a social media camp. So it taught kids how to become influencers. And I saw a debate on that recently, and it was interesting because, God bless, it was more the parents pushing the kids, you know, very, very, quite Americanized in that respect, you know, that proper pushy parent, you know, not to generalise, but you know the shows that I'm talking about. And that was interesting because coming from a teacher's point of view, I thought, you know what a great idea, because I wish I was more savvy. When I was teaching, Photoshop just was coming in school, and the kids that I was teaching, their Photoshop skills was amazing, and I had to cover some of the classes sometimes, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I had no clue, and I'm a little bit jealous of not being born a little bit sooner, you know, because to pick up these skills, I mean, obviously I can do it on my own, you know, my own free will now, but it's maybe not as easy if you were brought up, doing that. So I think like these camps to have to show people how to use YouTube, how to edit small videos is fantastic. But then they've got that other side of influencers. A lot of them are basically used as a tool to sell products. So there's that fine line. But education needs to change. I think that's what we're all in agreement with.
Yeah.
And I also think, as someone with a disability, we need to encourage more people with disabilities, because we do get told that we probably can't do X, Y, and Z. I was told I would never go to the university or never go to college, and I surpassed everyone's expectations. So I think it's important that we have a more inclusive education system and differentiate, how we kind of teach children.
Just give them more options.
Just give them more options.
Exactly.
And get rid of that stigma, like they do in Germany, and probably like they do in a lot of European countries, of if you are great with your hands and not very academic, that's great as well. Happy days. So I've got a question for you both. If you were to go back to your 17-year-old self, or 16, so how old are you when you're at college? 17, 18?
Yeah. 18 generally when you're passing your A-levels.
What would you say to yourself, doing your A-levels, waiting for this day, your A-level results, worrying, because I was a big worry, and I made myself sick through worrying. I got OCD through worrying, would make myself vomit, and all horrible through worry. Worry. I've probably taken 10 years off my life.
Me too.
During this time, this A-level period. So what would you say? Dan, let's start with you.
What would I say? Kind of what I've said at the start of the podcast already. Don't worry about your results. If you want stuff to happen, find another way to make it happen. And just be prepared in whatever you want to do to chase it and work your ass off. And by the way, you want to be an actor, listen to the advice you've been given and acknowledge you're probably going to be broke most of the time.
Great advice there, Dan.
Yeah.
Parker, Disco Dan, what are we calling you now?
Disco Dan.
Disco Dan, there we go.
I think similarly for me, I'd say embrace your path. It's about the journey as much as the destination, they say. Certain things happen for a reason. Just believe in yourself. Work hard as you're doing, and it may take patience, but you'll get there.
Yes. I think I echo both of what you've said, and as me who used to feel sick and I thought my life would be over if I didn't get X, Y, and Z, what I'd say is I went through a route and I became a teacher and I did languages, and I actually didn't want to do any of that. I wanted to do sociology and I wanted to do drama, and I didn't. I listened to other people because they told me what would be best for me for job opportunities being disabled. And I succeeded in them, but I wasn't happy. And then when I was 27, I quit my job as a teacher and moved to London, and I am now doing what I love. Yes, work is up in the air, but I genuinely enjoy it. So I think if I were to go back to my 17-year-old self, I just want to take a little bit of that pressure off, because I made myself ill. And I just think, poor Sam, there was enough going on in her life then without worrying about them pieces of them letters on a piece of paper, because I don't have media training. I didn't go to RADA. I'm learning everything as I go along. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's definitely what we're doing on this podcast.
Exactly. And I think, we've all got internal kind of skills, and I think we need to follow that more than something that is forced upon us. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Totally.
Hurrah!
Yes.
It does.
Well done. But 17, 18-year-olds that have just got your A-level results, well done. You bust your asses, whatever result you got. And just relax now, and whatever you decide to do next, wherever you're going, whether you're going to uni, whether you're doing whatever, just focus on that.
I was going to say go and get some vodka, but they're not 18 yet, are they?
Well, a lot of them
If you're 18, drink responsibly.
Yeah, because like I said to my cousin who is 18 that got his results today, don't kill off all those brain cells you're going to be using in the next 3 years. So So yeah, but yeah, enjoy it. But you know, for those of you that are going to uni, I went to uni, and like it is a life experience. You will do things that you never thought you would do. Some probably very questionable, that you may regret the day afterwards. Talking of which, Parker, Disco Dan, you bought a what I would call in the wrestling business a gimmick with you today,
Yes.
or something that you decided.
A gift.
A gift.
Well-
Indeed. Well, I say gift loosely because we may well regret this.
What have we got? I'm excited.
Okay, so I know you guys, when you do this podcast, you like to have your snacks, your pretzels, your
Yes, we
Oreos.
do.
So you bought snacks.
Ah.
Now, this is just my silly sense of humour. This is the way my mind works. I didn't bring you any chocolate or biscuits or crisps.
Okay,
I
because that
brought
would
you-
be too easy.
That'd be too easy, too safe. I brought you guys some every flavour beans from Harry Potter.
Harry Potter beans?
So, do you like jelly beans?
I do.
I do like jelly
Well, these
beans.
aren't like jelly beans.
Oh.
Some of them are.
Are they all minging?
So, I can give you a quick rundown of the flavours.
Oh yeah,
that
give
are in
us
here
a
if you
quick
like.
Okay,
taster.
yes.
Go
So-
on.
There are
Go.
some nice ones like banana, tutti frutti, cherry, cinnamon, but there's also some bad flavours
Oh,
like
no.
dirt, rotten egg, earwax,
Dirt?
and I think the worst one, vomit.
Oh,
So
No,
we
are you
could-
joking?
We should have a game of bean roulette. Now, who wants to go first and pick one out the bag?
Dan can go first.
oh, thanks.
Go on, Dan.
Right, have we got like a plastic bowl? I think I might need.
No.
Pick it from the packet.
No, but
Don't
I'm saying
spit- don't
in
spit
case
them
I
on-
want to
Oh,
throw
I
it.
see.
Don't spit them on the floor
you just
because
turn it into a
the
vomit
cat will eat it. And I
Okay.
don't.
Okay,
What colour is it?
it's green, a limey greeny colour. So, what?
I'm not going to say. Just
Oh.
try it and see what you think.
Why?
Go on, it might be lime. It might be
Come
apple.
on, come on.
Okay.
It might be apple.
My taste buds have gone anyway. I don't know why, so it's fine.
So you got.
What's he got? I can't,
He's-
wait,
he's
should, we,
going-
should we try and describe his face? Because
Looks like he's
Let's
about to
have a
go
look.
green and
No.
turn into a
it
Hulk.
can't,
It's
no,
not
it
horrible.
can't be that bad.
I'm not sure what it is, but it's not horrible.
Oh,
Okay, well, according to this packet, the colour it looks like is grass.
grass.
But
Does it taste like grass? Who eats grass?
is it grass?
If that's grass, I am officially a cow.
I'm going to go eat some grass then.
Oh
It's not
wow!
started today.
My
Okay,
turn.
Sam.
My turn.
I don't know if it was grass.
Oh, that looks dodgy.
What?
She's got like a patchy, orangey brown one.
Oh.
What is it? It's horrible. She wants to spit it out. What is it?
Oh, I don't.
What does it taste like?
I don't know.
That's vomit, apparently. She's got vomit.
I mean, it's not horrendous.
Will
No.
that take you back to uni days, tasting vomit?
No, I was a really good girl at uni.
Did you vomit after your hangover last episode?
No.
Oh, well done.
No. I don't throw up anymore now. My hangovers are more like headachy and just why, that kind of
Yeah.
one. Whereas when I was younger, I'd be sick in the morning and then it would kind of
Gone.
sleep it off, you
Yeah.
know? But now it lingers until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then I'm like, oh,
All right.
I feel alright, but now there's not much to be done for the rest of the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want another one.
Oh, she wants to go for another.
I want another one, but I'm going to have
That
a
can't
look.
be that bad then, the one you just had. Oh, she's got a white one. Whitey creamy one.
Mm,
That is...
I don't know.
We're looking at these colours on here. It's either rotten egg or marshmallow. I know which one I prefer.
I think it might be a rotten egg, but they're not too bad.
These beans are kind of disappointing.
I don't know what it says about me, or
Can
maybe
we move on,
maybe
or
it
I
is a
have
bit
one?
minging.
Oh, no,
you can have one.
You've got to have one now.
Well, you can have one.
Oh, this looks... I've got what looks like... Oh, no, I think I know what this is.
Eat it.
It looks like a pea.
It's a green. Eat it now. Don't try this at home, boys and girls. No, what is it?
Oh, that's watermelon. That's definitely watermelon.
Oh, watermelon.
Ah.
That's not
Well,
so bad.
that's easy. Oh, well, do you know what? I got 2 of the most disgusting ones and I survived. So, girls are better than boys.
Look, I survived eating grass, apparently.
I had vomits and rotten eggs, so...
I don't actually like watermelon, to be honest.
Disco Dan, because you are an avid listener to Life Downloaded.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Our number 1 fan.
Absolutely.
You will know that we talk about accessible bathrooms, or bathrooms in general, because
Yes.
a lot of our lives revolve around bathrooms. What's the funniest thing that you've ever found in a public bathroom? And also, controversial. No, it shouldn't be controversial. do you ever use accessible bathrooms? Because you are autistic and dyspraxic, obviously you are well within your rights to use an accessible bathroom, and a lot of people with invisible disabilities do get a lot of harassment and stick for doing so, which is completely wrong. Do you?
Yes.
Have you? Yes.
I do.
You don't need to tell us the reasons why, but so you'll know when we're talking about accessible bathrooms being used for all sorts of weird things. Go on. What's been your weirdest encounter?
Okay, this was quite recent. So I've just come back recently from a trip to Portugal.
Nice.
And in my hotel, I went into, which was the disabled toilet.
Yeah.
Now, you know, in many public bathrooms, there's usually pictures on the wall. Usually of, I don't know, like a seaside or a field.
Something
or something
generic.
Like that. Yeah, generic or like bathroom
especially
attire.
especially if you're in like tourism hotels.
Exactly. But on literally in this one, as you're facing the toilet, it's right in your face. There's a picture of what can only be described as a very, very, very obese lady who's completely naked, and it's basically crack of her bottom is right in your face in this picture.
Nice.
I thought that was quite a random picture choice. That's
I quite like it though.
which I guess maybe now is considered art.
Oh well, yeah. Curvy women back in the day. That's all we saw.
But this was quite a sort of, the way it was drawn was just a quite funny style, I thought. But in terms of anything else that's quite random, nothing really comes to mind. No.
That's quite disappointing.
Sorry.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, even though Disco Dan Parker, the man of many names, hasn't found anything particularly random, if you listen to episode 1, you'll remember us talking about Euston and the toilet door being opened on you. That happened to me twice this morning.
I think we've all been
Today?
Yeah, today.
What, on your way over here?
On my way to record Live Downloaded. Yeah, happened to me twice.
And can I just say as well, this has happened a couple of times recently, I'm sure we've all been there, where people just lock the bathroom door. Lock your door. How many times have you gone into a public toilet now and someone's been in there and they've like shut the door again when you opened it? Like a couple of times recently, I've gone to open a door which is unlocked from the outside.
Oh, okay.
But they've forgotten to lock it. Basically, someone is in there, they've forgotten to lock it.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time, especially on like trains all the time.
Oh yeah, trains. That's
people,
happened.
For some reason, assume that the door is automatically going to lock itself.
Yeah.
This is why like companies like Virgin now have a voiceover.
That's so annoying.
Makes me
I'm
jump
sorry.
every time.
Oh, so annoying.
At least they tell you haven't locked the door.
Yeah.
It
And
now
not to
tells
put
you.
things down like your shoe down the toilet. I mean,
Indeed.
I really hope people
I
don't
saw
put shoes
recently
down
that
the
you
toilet.
could actually apply to be the new voice.
Yes, there's a guy from Manchester.
He got it.
He won it.
Really?
Yes, but there was controversy with that. Being a professional actor, that
Why?
voiceover actors got very upset
Why?
because initially the winner wasn't being paid. So they're essentially going, come do it for free, thanks.
Oh, I get you.
So voiceover actors got very, very annoyed.
This is what happens in the industry.
And you know, you've often heard me say, you know, I dislike reality TV and all that kind of stuff. It's part of the reason why, because you know, a lot of non-professional performers and a lot of people being involved in reality TV are signing contracts and they don't know what they're signing. They're just happy to be on TV and they're not getting paid what they should be paid, and it makes it harder for me to earn a decent
That
wage.
happens again, even when I do news reports and X, Y, and Z. You know, that's the same in the industry. There's a lot of people who'll just do things for free because they want to, you know, get their starting point, which is fair enough because that's how I started out. More so in charity work, so obviously you don't get paid for that. But that kind of ruins it. Not ruins it, but it makes it really harder for everyone else. So I wanted to end that was a bit abrupt. I wanted to end this podcast. Get out!
Get out now.
Change
Get
that.
out!
Change that.
I'm really hungry, so you do need to relieve soon because I really want to have something to eat.
Sam, this is becoming a thing.
I know.
Dan, you need to leave because I need to sleep. Dan, you need to leave because I need to eat.
Stop interrupting. Lost my train of thought now. No, so I thought it'd be really nice to get some questions from our lovely listeners. So I put a post out on Instagram and Twitter. So thank you for the people that kind of replied to that. And one of our other number one fans, Carrie Ann. Hi, Carrie Ann.
Hello.
Her question is, I think it was aimed at myself and Dan because we didn't announce that we had
No, that's fine. Yeah.
you on.
You are
Dan.
super secret ninja
Yeah,
guest.
you were super secret. What's your favourite thing about each other? #PodCouple. So what's the favourite? What's the thing you like most about me, Dan? And what is the thing I like most about you?
Oh, who wants to go first?
So one thing I like about you is that you're an extremely kind person. And I say that because I've noticed, because I'm quite high demanding, a bit of a diva, and you always keep your cool with me, and I think you genuinely, if you think that not that you upset me, but if you think that I am maybe upset about anything, not even related to you, just in general, you genuinely reach out and make sure that I'm okay. And also, I really don't like confrontation. I struggle, and sometimes I can become quite passive-aggressive and that comes from not wanting to confront something. So obviously, working together, this is a new experience for myself and Dan, and you're the very few people in my life where I can actually say if I've got a grievance or if I'm not happy with something and feel comfortable doing that. I'm not normally comfortable with anybody else. Does that make sense? So I feel like I could be like, no, do you know what? Don't want to do that, or I'm not happy with that. Whereas with anyone else, we go, yes, okay, yes, when I'm dying inside. So I appreciate that about you, that we've got a good working relationship as well. But I think your kind nature is what I love the most about you, Dan.
Oh. How am I going to follow that? How am I going to follow that? Seriously. No, favourite thing about Sam, well, there's numerous. For a start, she's definitely more stylish than I am. Let's throw that out.
That was a given.
Yeah, she's the glamour of this relationship. But also, she's got a drive like nobody else. She's like, I'm going to achieve it. That's it. You're not going to stop me. And she's determined, and she won't pull any punches. Although she's just said, I'll say yes to things and I might die inside, especially with me and probably lots of other people she trusts. If she doesn't like something, she'll tell you in no uncertain terms. But that's good, because she'll go, no, it's not going to work. But at the same time, she'll listen if she's not sure. And, so she's a good communicator, is our Sam.
Yeah, Capricorn.
So am I.
There you go. We're good
It's
listeners.
the best star sign, isn't it?
Yeah. We're placid people. We're good listeners, but piss us off, and we'll have you.
We'll have you.
We'll have you.
No, so I like Sam for many reasons.
Aww.
But yeah, no, we do work well together.
We do.
And if some random TV company goes, yes, they do. Let's take them off.
We want a talk show
and put them on a talk show.
That'd be great as well.
Twitterverse, get on it. Let's start our own
talk show.
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
2 peas in a pod. Yeah. Oh, hey, there you go. He's tightening it already.
I'm glad you noticed. I do like a pun.
Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed today.
I have.
I am going to chuck you all out. We do need to say, I've got one of them, speaking of social media influencers, I have got one of them pretentious ring lights, to make us look beautiful.
Yes.
So we're going to take a picture
Okay.
so we can step up our Instagram game.
Yes.
You need to go. I'm going to chuck you out because I'm hungry. Unless you want me to cook dinner for you, lunch for you.
Well,
Which I am more than happy to do. But yeah, I think that was lovely. And I think we should get you back on again.
Oh, well, thank you.
In
I
the
really enjoyed
future.
it.
Oh, well, we've
Thank you.
enjoyed having you.
Very much.
It's been a first for us, but it's been great, hasn't it, Dan?
Secret Mystery Ninja guest.
Yeah, another name.
Where's that disco music now? That's what we need.
I know.
Yeah.
The outro.
Yeah, put some on.
Bee Gees.
Yeah.
Nice feeling. Right, on that note.
Indeed.
Bye.
On that note, guys, I am Dan Edge.
I am Samantha Ray.
This has been episode 4 of Life
Life Downloaded.
Downloaded. And we shall see you soon, I guess. See you later.